1964, I started collecting silver because I noticed there was a copper tinge around dimes and quarters. And it's called Gresham's Law. Gresham's Law states was when phony money enters the system, real money goes into hiding. So in 1964, I was like 16 or 17 years old, and I saw this copper tinge around this dime, and I said, what the hell's going on? So the more I found out about it, so I as a kid, living in Hawaii, I take a dollar or something and I get, some roll of dimes and stuff like this. And I go through the dimes and I take out all the ones with the copper tinge and give it back to the bank and keep the real silver, the dimes and all that. And so pretty soon, by the time I left for school, a couple of years later, I had a bag full of real silver. And I didn't know that was Gresham's Law. I was intuitively tuned into real. And then in 1971, August 15th, President Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. Of course, I didn't hear about it because he is Tricky Dick. And he announced it during the television program Bonanza. And I was in Camp Pendleton, California, getting ready to go to Vietnam. But I was flying in Vietnam when I realized that I didn't know anything about gold. And so I flew behind enemy lines and looked for a gold mine. And I walked up to this little Vietnamese woman who was selling gold at a gold mine in Vietnam. So I asked her, and I didn't know what gold looks like because in 1972, it was illegal for Americans to own gold. And I thought that was really strange. My education was on the fly, is what I'm trying to say. So I tried to negotiate this Vietnamese woman, the cute little thing, and gold used to be 35 an ounce, and it was now floating around 50. So I thought maybe because I'm behind enemy lines, I have greenback, I have dollars. I was in a negotiating position. And she looked at me, and I don't think she went to Harvard or anything, but she just looked at me and she just laughed at my partner, not my co-pilot. And she goes, "Spot." I said, "What is spot?" And I was being educated. And what I found out a few days later, that spot means that's the price of gold all over the world. I mean, gold has a uniform price, which means it's real money. Then I realized that's God's money. If I get the atomic number and silver as an atomic number, the US dollar doesn't. So I became very, very suspicious of the US dollar. So our aircraft carrier group was a flying Alpha carrier, and went to Hong Kong, and I went looking for gold. I didn't know what it looked like. And finally I found a South African Krugerrand, and I bought it, and then I found out I had to smuggle it into the US like a criminal, because it was illegal since 1933, I believe, to own gold. And I thought, this is really strange. Really strange. So I come back from the war, and thank God around 1974 or 75, I think it was Gerald Ford made gold legal for Americans to own. Ever since then, I don't save US dollars. People say save money. I refuse to. I save gold and silver, which are God's money. God's money has been here since the earth was formed. When people argue about gold, silver, Bitcoin, I just quote, Yogi Berra. When you come to the fork in the road, take all three. I have all three. And right now I'm high on silver because it's the most suppressed. It's 50% below its all-time high yet.